Welcome to the RG DFS Tournament Takes podcast. I'm your host, Chris Kirkwood, here with my boys, the Notorious one, Daniel Farnsworth. Also, special appearance here because this is a guy who is not going to miss the show by any means necessary. Chris Prince, the owner of the Fantasy Bar Beer. Tell the people how your surgery went, my man.
Everything went well. So a little reconstructive foot surgery. So not non-weight bearing for 6 weeks. So I had me a little cart to roll around, and needing a lot of help is not something I am normally good with. So it's things went well, surgery went well, but this needing everything is new to me. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk football, and I think we all had a good week 11 from the sounds of it. So rolling right along here to week 12, ready to rock.
What a goat Jacoby is, huh?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
The absolute goat. So first in chat winner, looks like it's Don Yeezy again. Give it up for Don Yeezy. He's now moved up to over minus 1,000 range for next week, but let's see. Dodo, how we doing, my man?
Yeah, doing good. I'm pretty sure you said Daniel Farnsworth with
What did I? No, I said Derek. I didn't say. I said Daniel.
I heard Daniel as well, but
hey,
it's all right.
You both start with a D. You're good.
So yeah,
I would never.
I had a little surgery last week, beard this week. Kirk, what are you getting done next week?
Oh, so it's a couple weeks, and I got my colonoscopy going down.
Okay.
Oh.
We're getting old on this show.
I got to drink a bunch of shit.
Yeah, man.
And
I'll spare the details, but that
I gotta have someone come with you. Come with me.
That part's horrific.
Dude, my dad just got his first one done, and he ate like that morning, and
oh boy,
couldn't do it, and he was so mad. I'm like, dude, just read the instructions.
I'm gonna eat a big salad right before I go in there, just so I can let them fucking.
And TJ with the zinger. Jalen Warren also gave me a colonoscopy. I had a really good lineup with the Cardinals, and unfortunately had Jalen Warren in there. So,
yeah. So I had a good week with Jacoby, man. What a goat, setting the record for passing attempts. And that was the thing, right? Like, we watched it the week before. Like, even if they were like blown out, they were gonna just be going. Like Trey McBride. There's no shortage of no stopping for them. So it worked out perfectly, and we're going to be right back in that situation talking about if we're going to rerun him back this week. But let's talk week 12 a little bit here. Let me get the housekeeping out of the way quickly. Let's talk about Combo Pro. Looking to get NFL DFS access this season. Why not get more bang for your buck with this Combo Pro deal? For a limited time, you can get your first month of Combo Pro for just $79.99. That's only $5 more than an NFL DFS monthly subscription. Don't pass up this elite value. We also got the 3-day pass promo, as we always do this football season. Want to try our NFL DFS tools without a full season commitment? For a limited time, get half off a 3-day NFL pass and access to everything you need to crush the slate. You'll get the Optimizer Lineup HQ, packed with player projections, ownership percentages, and more. You'll also get SimLabs NFL, the easiest way to build smart competitive lineups in just a few clicks. It's really that easy. All that and more for only $9.99. So don't miss your chance to get some serious edge going on for this weekend on this, what I think is a tough slate. Noto, just big picture overview. What stands out to you?
Yeah, this is the most confused I've been on a slate all season. At the beginning of the week, wanted to stack up the Cardinals once again, but a little bit worried about the Jaguars, their slow pace of play. Cardinals can't fall behind 4 touchdowns every single week. We're not going to see Jacoby Brissett aired out 60-plus times again. So I'm kind of getting off of that a little bit. Yeah, it's just one of those weeks where I don't feel great. There aren't any super obvious plays. I do love the Giants and Lions game. I think that's going to be my favorite stack, but yeah, I'm hoping you guys can help me figure out what I'm doing on Sunday.
So what we're here for. We also got chat here. What up to chat? Thank you for being here. Tell us your plays and whatnot. Beer, the man, is going through it all right now, getting a taste of what assisted living might look like down the road.
Right.
But what's
up so soon, man?
So how's the slate looking to you?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I mean, pricing's gotten tougher. We have different injury situations. We're still kind of waiting on. I mean, there are some attractive games, but I agree with Noto. I don't think there's a lot of clear spots, which make tournaments fun. You know, I don't think ownership's going to get too out of hand. I don't see anybody that's crazily owned on this slate, and some guys I think are much lower owned than they should be. So it really sets up as a fun GPP slate.
Sure does. Yeah, we'll have some ideas. To me, this we get the cheap quarterbacks again. We don't really have a ton of the really expensive running backs, and we don't have a ton of like value, it seems like, either. So we're really going to have to weave our way around this slate. The big news is what Josh Jacobs looking like he's probably going to suit up, but how much is he going to get? Once he went down last week, it was Emmanuel Wilson got every running back touch once he went down. So he would obviously shoot up to a fantastic play. If we get any kind of word of a limitation on Jacobs, he's probably a good play anyway. But we'll break that down. Let's talk about it quickly. Week 12, we got 11 games. We've got 3 really high total games. The Giants at Detroit, 15.5 point total there. We got the Colts at KC, which is a good game I'm looking forward to. That's a 50-point total. New England, my boys. Got to get your Super Bowl, Patriots Super Bowl futures while you can, you guys. Just
Oh boy.
They're going to get killed now, probably. They go to Cincy, 50-point total. And then we got like 2 games with a pretty high totals at 47.5. Jacks at Arizona and the Eagles at Dallas. Quickly, I'll just go over the Blitz most plays. Cardi has Atlanta at New Orleans for the most plays. The Jets at Baltimore. And the Giants at Detroit. I always cross-reference that over with the article at ETR Up and Pace. And they've got the Giants at Detroit, Indy at KC, and Jacksonville at Arizona. So they're right up all the high total games. And Cardi's got, some interesting. If it's a New Orleans game in New Orleans, it's always going on there. Cardi loves those dome games. So a lot to navigate around. So let's do it. Let's do what we always do. Let's start at the running back position. Then we'll go over to quarterbacks, pair it for our stacks with our wide receivers, talk some tight ends, talk some defense, and then build a lineup for the people. We built Jacoby last week and also Brissett stack, so that worked out really well. And we also Don Yeezy had the Arizona stack as well, the Jacoby. So shout out to us for having a good week. All right, running back. So look from an ownership perspective. See, right off the bat, I'm not sure I love this. Chase Brown, 6,200. I get it because of the price, but I also think New England is a pretty good defense. I think New England's going to have their way in this game. I'm just a little concerned. He's kind of a chalk that I'm thinking about fading, but I'm interested to hear your guys' opinions. Emmanuel Wilson is obviously looking like he's going to be chalk. People are expecting a limitation on Jacobs, so we'll get that. Hopefully we'll get some clarity tonight on that whole situation or in the morning. Jahmyr Gibbs, awesome matchup against the Giants, you can do whatever you want against the Giants. And Detroit needs to start putting up some points and they're home in the dome, so I'm sure they will do that. I liked Bijan last week. He came through. I think he's in play again. Against the Saints. Travion Henderson, did he get the role? Ramondre's back. Are we scared to play him at 6,700 with Ramondre back? I don't know. David Montgomery, Saquon, Derrick Henry. There's a whole list of players that I just kind of like and don't absolutely love. But who did you write up, Noto, for your key personnel article?
This is a rare week where I'm kind of off of the chalk. I'm with you on Chase Brown. 3 weeks ago, he was $1,000 cheaper. Nobody wanted to play him. Now he's 6,200 in a really tough matchup. The Patriots are 6th in EPA against the run, 2nd in fantasy points allowed to running backs. The workload's going to be there, but yeah, I could see him just putting up 15, maybe even less. So I'm kind of with you. I don't think he's a must play by any means. I do think Emmanuel Wilson is going to be a great option if Jacobs ends up being out. We currently don't have Jacobs projected right now. So we'll wait and see if he can suit up. But my favorite plays, I like Jahmyr Gibbs against the Giants. I also like David Montgomery in that game. Got a little bit of coach speak from Dan Campbell saying they want to get Montgomery more involved. And they're just coming off of a bad loss, going at home. They're not going to take their foot off the gas. So I pretty much like everyone on Detroit this week. And then I really like Derrick Henry at home against the Jets, massive total for the Ravens. Their offense has kind of been sputtering since Lamar Jackson's come back. So I think this is a get right spot for them. Derrick Henry, his yards per carry go up every single month of the season. We're getting closer and closer to December. So I really like him at 7,600. Those are probably my favorites. Kenneth Walker, I mean, if he was out, I would love to play Zach Charbonnet, but it does sound like he's going to be able to suit up. So yeah, I'm kind of keeping my player pool small with Henry, Gibbs, and Wilson, my favorites at the moment.
I love Henry. I feel like they're just not going to mess around. There's no point to not just feed him the rock in that game. So he's actually my favorite play. I love your Monty call. Everyone will flock to Gibbs. They can do whatever they want. Like you said, it's coach speak, but the Giants, you can get the Giants every single which way. They also play zone defense, man defense, and Goff is much better at man. Plus, you get at home in the dome. There's a lot of good receiver options, but so I like both of those guys too. But who are your favorites, Beer?
Love Jahmyr Gibbs this week. I mean, think about this team. They're coming out. They're coming off a loss. They're coming home against a bad Giants team. Detroit's team total is something you should be betting because they're going to put 30, 40 points on the board in this spot, and they're going to run up the score, and they're going to send a message. So, like Noto said, every line is going to be a highlight for me, but Jahmyr Gibbs is my favorite play on this entire slate. Coming off of losses, 39 and 41 DraftKings points. So, he has a rare ceiling that not many can match here. So I'm surprised he's not higher owned than he should be, in my opinion. I worry about Chase Brown. I get it. New England gives up the most receptions to running backs. They also allow the fewest rushing yards to running backs. So you really need a lot of receptions out of Chase Brown to get a ceiling outcome. So in a cash game, fine. And I love seeing this ownership on him in tournaments because I will definitely stay away. Bijan's the one I'm a little concerned with. I mean, how tough is it going to be for New Orleans to really focus on him? I mean, Kirk Cousins is back there now. So you're not really worried about the passing game. They can really load up the box here and try to make Kirk Cousins beat him. Now, Bijan can be involved in that passing game and get there that way, but I'm okay staying away from the chalk this week. So love Gibbs. I'm going back to Saquon Barkley. I know Dallas brought in Quinnen Williams, going to help shore up that running defense, but still a big play guy. And Dallas on the season, 5th most DraftKings points to this position, high total game. He's not going to see a ton of ownership. I love the Derrick Henry call. He's going to be one of my favorites this week against the Jets, who lost Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner. I mean, that defense wasn't great to begin with, so you take 2 of their best players away. Really good spot for the Ravens this week. Wilson will easily become the best value if Jacobs is out. I love Travion this week. I think a lot of people are nervous, scared that Ramondre's back. What does it look like? And I want to jump into that uncertainty in the best running back matchup that we have with the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'll be playing a ton of Travion Henderson. If it beats me, so be it. But he has shown an incredible upside. So I love him in tournaments. I think Jonathan Taylor is a phenomenal spend up this week. Nobody's going to want to spend that money on him. A tougher matchup against the Chiefs, but he succeeded in tough matchups, playing at such a high level. And then a couple I think won't see a ton of attention is your Jacksonville guys, Noto, both ETN and I really like Byshell Tootin this week, who carved out a bigger role. He got hurt, then ETN got a little bit more involved. So, what does that split look like? But I like the spot for both of them against Arizona. But Tootin should be 1%, 2%, 3% owned. A way to get off of a guy like Emmanuel Wilson or Chase Brown and get a little bit different.
Yes, sir. Do you have any love for Kareem Hunt? 5,100, Pacheco out.
I usually don't play Kareem Hunt. If I do, it's usually on FanDuel because he seems to be more of a, he can get you a couple touchdowns, but is he going to put up a ton of yards on the ground? So there I would have some interest, but DraftKings, I'm not getting there.
All right, I'm digging. So, look, I was also thinking maybe some Aaron Jones with your terrible JJ, kind of
revenge game.
Yeah, plus a little bit of leverage too as well off of the Emmanuel Wilson chalk, potentially.
Don't mind it. What about Zonovan? Don't call me Bam Knight as some leverage off of that card.
I played him last week. I'm all about Bam. He was good to me last week. So
I
I don't
49
mind that one.
Hmm?
I don't mind that one at all. Damn night.
Yep. And so I wrote down just by matchups, digging through the matchups. You guys nailed them, but anyway. But these Giants are a sieve. So the Gibbs Monty, the Bengals are a sieve. So you got Travion. What do you guys think a fair price would be this week if Ramondre was out going into this week? I mean, Travion would be an absolute lock, right? At 6,700.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think he's too cheap right now. So I'm going to operate that he's earned this role, and I could be wrong. We never know what they're going to do, but they tend to lean on one back. So I just think he's too cheap, and nobody's going to want to play him.
And if a Patriot back is going to break one, it's going to be Travion.
And honestly, they could both get there. I mean, Cincinnati is that bad. If they're controlling this game, there's plenty of room for both of those guys to make it.
Got a question about Kamara. Any interest there?
Yeah, I like the spot. I like the game script potentially with Cousins. I like the defense, and he pairs well with the defense. But it's like, what do we think the ceiling is?
Yeah, coming off the bye.
5,500.
He's got to get there on receptions because Taysom is there now as well. Devin Neal is carving out a role. Like he's really got to catch 7-8 passes, which he could. I mean, they're down to bare bones at wide receiver, but
he got
limited interest there.
22 rushes in week 10 against Carolina. Only 83 yards out of it, but man.
He hasn't topped 15 fantasy points all year. That's crazy.
That
if he's 2-3% owned, I'm interested, but if he's going to have some ownership, I'm staying away from that.
I'm open to it. I'm not loving it, but I'm open to it. All right. Any others down here? Well, like maybe Judkins.
I've tried that a couple times.
I mean, what are they going to do with Shadur?
Yeah.
He's
I hope he plays well this week. Twitter will blow up.
It'll just be fun to see him play well. And now what are you going to do?
I know.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. Just touching on the Jonathan Taylor, like, man, it is really hard to fit him in a lineup.
Oh, absolutely is. But that's what we love in tournaments.
Yeah,
and no one's going to play him for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, small field stuff, he's going to be 5%, maybe less.
Yeah. All right. Anyone else, or should we move it on over to QB?
I think we hit everyone, but Tootin is probably my favorite off the board value this week.
All right. I like that. All right. Jacoby Brissett leading the way from an ownership perspective after, setting the pass attempts record or pass completions record of 57 attempts. Just a total GOAT in the second half, 452 yards passing, didn't have to run at all. And so there's just Jacksonville is they're a pass funnel a little bit, I'd say potentially. So and plus they're going to be trailing Arizona. So it just sets up perfectly for him. You get Michael Wilson at a cheap price who got 15 targets last week. You got Trey McBride again, 6,800, still too price. He just put over 30 DraftKings points in back-to-back games. We're talking 11 targets, 13 targets in those two games, and he's not priced like a wide receiver one even yet. He's getting close, but he's not there at 6,800. So I think there's just extreme value there on that for the stacks. So that obviously makes Jacoby a little bit better, but they are going to be chalky. We've got Mahomes in a game where he needs to bring back the Patrick Mahomes against the Colts. They need wins right now, and at home is a good place for them. So like Jared Goff, as I mentioned, he destroys man coverage in the dome, especially, and he's only 6K, so we can make things work. We can do the Lions onslaughts. We can do a lot of things. We got Jalen Hurts. It's Dallas D. Yes, they're getting a little healthier and they're bringing in some reinforcements, but still a bad defense. Jalen Hurts, they need to score. The only thing is it's a divisional game, which usually tends to be a little bit tighter and not as many plays. And then obviously Drake May, my boy. So we've got those guys. We've also got Lamar in the mix hanging around. We have some other cheaper options like Jameis, if you want to play the other side of that game in the dome. But Beer, who are you leaning towards at QB?
Yeah, you named a lot of the ones I think are going to be, safe, good upside, good. They're going to be 10, 12% owned. Quarterback's always a position we don't overly worry about ownership. So Brissett is still too cheap for this role. Easy stacking partners. You nailed Wilson, McBride. Dortch has a bigger role now. I just don't love him as much as I did last week. And you mentioned the game script certainly was in his favor last week. So my guess is they want to balance things out a little bit, run the ball a little bit more. So still a good spot, though, and still too cheap. Drake May, don't need to talk much about him playing at a high level. Love the Goff stuff, doubles, triples. Any way you want to stack Jared Goff. Like I said, I think Detroit puts up 40 this week, and then Mahomes in that category as well. So I want to give you some names outside of that. I don't think we'll see much ownership that I really like. My favorite is probably Caleb Williams against Pittsburgh. This is the team get up the most passing yards per game to quarterbacks, 7th most DraftKings points. They play a lot of man coverage, so that's going to set up well for some of their receivers. And he has put some big numbers on the board at home. Outside of the New Orleans game, where he didn't really have to do much, he averages over 26 DraftKings points per game at home. So really like him. I think Lamar is going to be too low owned this week. And we mentioned the defections on that Jets defense. Guys, the Jets have not intercepted a pass this entire season from a quarterback. May be wrong, but that's the stat I'm seeing, which is absolutely mind-blowing. But I think this could be a spot. Lamar goes nuts at 5-6% ownership. And then some super low-owned guys, Sam Darnold at Tennessee. Him and JSN don't seem to have a ton of ownership. Tough to fit that in, and he's been bad, no doubt. But I think this is a great wake-up spot for that offense. Especially if Walker's out, everyone's going to go to Charbonnet. This stack won't have any ownership at all. And then a super gross, cheap play. This one's not for everybody, but I like Tyler Shuck this week against Atlanta. I mean, Falcons have given up 30 or more points in 3 of the last 4 games. You stack them with Olave. You add a cheaper piece with it. We'll get to some of those names at wide receiver, but he's played better than people realize, and he is super cheap. So you want ways to fit in Taylor, Gibbs, some of these higher end plays. I'm going to have some Tyler Shuck stacks this weekend as well.
4,400.
Yeah, man.
That is nice. Noto, who'd you write up?
Yeah, I love Jared Goff. You can play him with the running backs. You can play him with Monroe St. Brown. You can play him with J-Mo. I mean, yeah, you can seriously stack 3 or 4 guys from the Lions.
Everybody.
Yeah, you can feel so good about it. And then I love Jameis on the other side. So one of my favorite builds is playing Jameis and then stacking up all the skill position guys from Detroit. He's drawn the start again. He said pressure's for the unprepared, and he's ready to play every single week. He has the best quotes in the game. He also had one of the best celebrations. Did you see his touchdown celebration last week?
Dude's fantastic.
Dude's amazing. They ran the ball a ton last week against the Packers, but I don't think they're going to be able to do that, especially if they fall behind early. So 4,600, I like him quite a bit. I'm going to be underweight on Brissett. Jaguars want to run the ball, especially in the last few games. They've been kind of trying to hide Trevor Lawrence, and I just don't think the game script is going to be nearly as good for Jacoby Brissett. Kirky said, Jaguars probably playing with the lead, but I wouldn't count on that. It's the Jaguars. They could get, down by a couple scores in this one. So, yeah, my favorites are both in the Lions game. And then if you're spending up, I like Drake May. I like Patrick Mahomes. I think they're both, great high floor options, high ceiling options. Good matchup for May against Cincy. And then you mentioned KC needing to win. They're 5-5, so they really need to get going if they want to make the playoffs.
So if you play Drake May, how are you going to stack him? Are you just going to do
That's the problem. I would probably do Diggs or just play him solo and hope he spreads the ball around and runs one in.
Or hits a bunch of touchdowns and no names that don't really
That's the
matter.
problem with him. I mean, I think you can play him alone. I think stacking him with Diggs makes sense. Travion makes sense, catches the ball, and Hunter Henry is an option we'll get to, as Cincinnati's terrible against the tight end position. So, but there's so many options. It's kind of like Josh Allen. Who do you stack him with? So, it holds the ownership down is the good news.
Are we doing Jameis and Detroit D?
I love
I
the
don't
Detroit
want to
dude.
this week just because I have so many Detroit skill position dudes. But
I
you
mean,
can for sure.
We can just
You absolutely can.
You
We
can
can
just
just layer
lock
them.
the Browns defense into every lineup this week. I know it's not the defensive segment, but Browns defense in every lineup just feels like the play.
Yeah, it is against the Raiders. They have a massive D line versus O line matchup here. Massive edge there. So love that call. But all right. Any other? I like that you guys got me thinking on Caleb. I wasn't even thinking him at all. So I'm definitely going to start building some of him as well.
I really like him this week. We'll
Is
get to some
A-Rod?
receivers too.
Is A-Rod going to play?
I think so. It sounds like he wants to, and they're open to it. And he knows this is his last run. So if he can go at all, he's going to go. So, and we're also getting some Tyrod Taylor love in the chat. I see. I haven't landed there. I think Noto sounds like he prefers Winston. I prefer Shuck in that range, but Tyrod with his legs is certainly interesting, especially if they're playing from behind. It's who the hell is this guy throwing the ball to is the problem.
Tyrod's had more reconstructive surgeries than you, Beer.
Hey, I'm only at one, man. I had a good run.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on over to wide receiver. Amon-Ra leads the way. Certainly, we can play any of these guys. With Laporta out, you're going to have to like this condensed tree that we're all going to love on Detroit. J-Mo is certainly in play. Plus, he's seen an uptick with Campbell calling the plays. It's also he's going to be facing man coverage. I mean, he's going to blow the top off on one of these.
Oh yeah,
one of these passes. So I love J-Mo and Amon-Ra. I also do like Michael Wilson. He's going to be chalky at 4,800, but we're talking. You showed me. I know the game score was right, but he had 18 targets, 15 receptions. He looked good doing it. I would temper my expectations a little, but 4,800 is just way too cheap. T. Higgins is the solo man. Who's going to draw some ownership against New England. I don't know. I worry about just all these Bengals guys in general. I think New England takes care of business because Burrow's not playing. I was a little worried when Burrow was going to suit up, but if you have no Jamar Chase and no Burrows, I'm not really too scared as a Patriots fan. So I also like Rashee Rice. I like Devontae Smith. He seems like he has the matchup advantage in Dallas. So like that, there's also JSN, who's going to be a lot less owned than what we've been used to against Tennessee. He's expensive for sure, $9K, but it can be done. And then I'm going to have some May Diggs stacks because I think Diggs is pulling away now as we're getting towards the season. He saw an uptick in routes. He had 11 targets. He's been playing some in the slot. That's where basically the Pats can do whatever they want, but I do like Diggs. And then I don't know. There's just a lot of meh this week. So I gave way too many plays. That's just where my head's starting. But Beer's gonna focus us in on someone now.
Yeah, you hit on a lot of them. So this is my favorite position this week. So I have a hefty list. I'll try to keep it quick, but there's a lot of cheap guys and kind of gross guys that I'm going to give you here for this weekend. So up top, I do love JSN. He looks like he's going to be 9-10% owned. Sign me up for that any day of the week against Tennessee. You mentioned Amon-Ra St. Brown, very good against man defense. Just all feels right. Down game, they lose, they're back home. Like, all right, let's get him going again. So I think he's one of the best options on the high end. J-Mo fine as well. Again, those stacks are going to be ones I have a lot of this weekend. So Michael Wilson, too cheap. You mentioned him. Don't need to go too in-depth on that. I love Rome Odunze this week, paired with Caleb, another guy that's much better against man defense. Pittsburgh plays a ton of man defense. So I really like them to get it going. Chris Olave, I mentioned I like Tyler Shuck. I mean, he's really the only show in town. I got some names here that, are going to have to be thrust into roles. But Olave's been chalk every single week. And now this week, nobody wants to play him. So A.J. Terrell is not that good where I'm going to avoid Chris Olave. So really like him. A couple more in the high end. I think CeeDee Lamb in a good spot. He always plays well against this Philadelphia team. 10 or more targets in 6 straight games against Philadelphia. 19 or more DraftKings points in 4 of the last 5. So he's interesting. Devontae Smith, I much prefer to A.J. Brown, who has struggled against this particular type of defense with Dallas. I think Parker Washington is an interesting bounce back. Now to the gross names, and hopefully I don't take them all, but you talked Cincinnati, T. Higgins, I'm not too interested in. Yoshi Voss, I'm not too interested in.
Okay.
Well, how about a little Mitchell Tinsley? If we can remember back to August, and this guy just looking like an absolute beast, not really getting much run here. So this is not a play for everybody, but super cheap, should play a bigger role. He is good around the red zone and a good, high point catcher. So I like him. Luther Burden will be a part of my Chicago stack. So there's another cheap option. We mentioned the Saints. Devon Vele and Tipton are intriguing. Darnell Mooney with no Drake London is interesting. And then A.D. Mitchell. We got some Tyrod love. Who's he going to throw to? Mitchell's easily the most talented receiver that they have, and saw a lot of targets with Justin Fields. Unfortunately, those are not quality targets. Should be better here with Tyrod, but a lot of cheapies. That's going to allow me to get Gibbs, Taylor, McBride, some of these bigger names in. But Mitchell Tinsley is going to be my call that busts out in a big way here at 1-2% on tops.
I hope it hits. Noto, what are you thinking?
Man, I was really hoping you were going the Yoshi Boss route because I've been looking for anybody that likes him besides myself. But hey, maybe I'll have to just switch to Mitchell Tinsley. But man, yeah, Jamar Chase is out. Why? I know Christian Gonzalez is a good cornerback, but why don't we have interest in T. Higgins? Flacco's not afraid to throw into tight windows. He could see 15 plus targets in this one. I do like Higgins in tournaments. I think just mixing at least one Bengals receiver in each lineup makes some sense, especially if you don't like Chase Brown like we do. At the very top, yeah, Monroe St. Brown, love him. Jameson Williams, I'm going to have at least one of them in each lineup. Michael Wilson, coming off the huge game, is certainly viable against the Jags. If you want to get away from the Wan'Dale chalk, which I do like Wan'Dale, everyone talks about his low ADOT, but he does have 24% of the team's air yards this season. But you can go with Isaiah Hodgins. In his first game with the Giants, he played on 77% he ran around on 77% of the dropbacks. And this is a game where they're going to be trailing. So I don't mind him as a super deep flyer. But yeah, lots of good. Do you guys have any interest in the Green Bay? I never seem to get them right, but they seem to project well every single week. Green Bay.
If I play one, it's usually Watson just for his big playability, and that's been hitting. But I tend to stay away from Dobbs. Is always okay. Cash games fine, but you rarely get a ceiling outcome from him. So, and just one note with the Giants, Darius Slayton is back as well. I think he's interesting. If they're going to be playing from behind, that could be a big play guy that Jameis is going to wing the ball down the field to.
All right, I got a couple. So no one mentioned Alec Pierce.
Yeah, he's always in the GPP pool. Same thing, big play upside.
Big game. Probably going to need to sling it. So I think that's interesting. I like whoever talked about Luther Burden. I like him as well. Sorry, I was reading chat too at the same time. Dobbs, I guess, would be my guy, but like you said, you don't get the sin. But if he does hit end zone, pay dirt, then just at 4,900, I like that. And then I'll just make the case for Diggs again. So he went up to 89% route share in week 11 here. So that's all I need to see. Even though Booty's back and everyone, his price is still. I think you're going to see a lot of Diggs heading into the playoffs because the Pats need a wide receiver one. Like they just need that for their offense to hum. And I think he's the guy that steps up. They pay him the money. I think he's playing well. He looks good. So he's my guy for the price there. Is Darnell Mooney a wide receiver one?
He is, yeah.
Cousins
said yesterday he wants to see him have a strong end of the season.
So I'm on board there.
That implies Cousins can actually throw the ball.
That's true.
Yeah, he's not going to help him, but he's hoping that it'll happen.
It's a fair point for sure.
if Rodgers ends up being out, I think DK Metcalf could be real interesting. He just hasn't. Rodgers can't throw the ball downfield, and Mason Rudolph will stand in the
Yeah, he
pocket.
gets rid of it so quickly, and Rudolph will sit in there and he'll
Uh-huh.
chuck it. So that's what you need with DK. I could see that definitely happening, and no one will play him. I'm on board with you for Josephat.
Okay, that's
So,
2.
I mean, he's so cheap. He's 4,100. We've seen production out of him in the past.
He's not like a high volume guy, but they love him
Yeah.
in the red zone.
In the end zone, yeah. Get a tutty, and you're all set at 4,100. All right, we lose Beer.
He keeps popping in and out.
I'm
Okay.
here. Just
Diaper change. Is it a little?
Yeah, man. Of course.
Yeah.
Gotta get that diaper change. I'm gonna enjoy the perks of this while I got them.
He's got a sponge bath going on back there.
Absolutely.
All right, let's moving on over to tight ends. Unless you guys got any more out. I mean, Tinsley took the cake, so we don't need to go further than
Yeah,
that.
and again, I wouldn't be going there in cash games or anything, but it's a shot in tournaments. Guy with some upside, going to get an opportunity. So
You can play Taylor, can play JSN, you can play
Yep.
any of these big guys with him.
I like it. Are you guys playing Jacoby Myers at all? He always is like top 5 in the point per dollar and never gets there.
I never play him for that exact same reason. He always projects well, and he just always has these middling games with limited upside. So I prefer Parker Washington, but I'm not
I
going
like
there.
it. 4,700 tempts me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but he's
without
always cheap.
DTJ. Yeah, but this is real team. This is a good game. This is a very stackable game.
I'm hoping this game is terrible. 10-7.
All right. I'm playing it, so you're rooting I lose, but it's okay. All right, Trey McBride. All right, that's the first things for the tight end position. We got to talk about we just play. What did we say last week? We just play him, right? Like you eat the chalk.
I don't
he's
care what
way
he
too
costs.
cheap.
Yeah, what the ownership is, you just play him.
We're buying a premium here. This is the premium guy, McBride. Other than that, so there's Kelsey in a big game. There's some narrative there for him to step up against the Colts. There's Hunter Henry against Cincy, who has the worst D against tight ends. I feel like there was a year it was like every single week it was just plug in whoever's playing Cincy, but they're pretty much at that point. But Hunter Henry, especially with who's the other guy? My boy, the other tight end,
Austin Hooper.
Yeah, Austin Hooper back. It's a little scary, but could work out at 3,900. It's just the problem is opportunity cost. So when I'm saying these other names, it's like it's whether we want to do double tight end potentially. I guess Gesicki is back now, and 2,600 in a game where they're probably going to be trailing and needing to sling it. I think that could help you out here if you need it. And then there's Brock Bowers for upside. But Noto, which way you leaning?
Yeah, I mean Trey McBride. If you can get him, you should. There's no such thing as a lock in DFS, though. I thought Vukcevic last night was a lock in NBA DFS, and somehow he managed to fail at 3.1K. So I wouldn't necessarily say McBride's a lock, but man, the Jags are awful against tight ends. They gave up that huge game to Brock Bowers earlier this season. McBride has 6 touchdowns in the last 5 games with Brissett under center, so it's hard to get away from him. If you do, I kind of like Kyle Pitts. No Drake London there. And the last time that Kirk Cousins started a game was week 8. That was Pitts' best game of the season. He caught all 9 of his targets. So he's an interesting guy for me. Outside of that, man, I don't really like the position. I don't want to pay up for Kelsey, even though it's a good matchup. Hunter Henry's fine, but again, they're getting some guys back. I like the Gesicki call if you are wanting to truly just punt off tight end.
But then Chad's sitting here asking also, what about Noah Fant?
I think he was a lot more intriguing before Gesicki was back.
Yeah.
With them down chase now, which one's going to get the opportunity. So I think you can sprinkle both of them in, but they both lose a little bit with them both being there.
I'm seeing pretty low ownership on Tyler Warren.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And that interests me in this big game. I mean, they're gonna have to sling it. at times in this game. So, and this game could break out for sure. And it's obviously it's got the 50-point total. 5,500. I mean, he was looking like the guy that would be McBride for the first half of the season, where his price was just going up and up. And did have a nice game in Week 10 against Atlanta, 17 fantasy points, almost 18. So I like that. All right, any other guys you want to get off your chest, or just play McBride and maybe some of these other guys?
I mean, my player pool is pretty limited at tight ends this week. McBride is going to be in a ton of lineups. I mean, you compare him with prices at wide receiver at 6,800. Now, FanDuel, 8,500, it makes it tough to get him in, no doubt. But DraftKings, I still think he's too cheap. So if I don't have him, I love Travis Kelce this week, and I have not said that much this season. He's really stepped up his game. Colts are bottom 3 in DraftKings points allowed to tight ends, and huge total. I don't know if we've gotten Xavier Worthy news yet, but he could be out. That's even more targets. So I love Kelce. Hunter Henry, I think, comes in third for me. And then some tournament pivots. Brock Bowers, always interesting at low ownership. Even if it is Cleveland, he's easily their best option. And then Mark Andrews, not getting a lot of love this week. So really like Baltimore. So I'm going to have a lot of Lamar, Derrick Henry, and some Mark Andrews paired with Lamar. I think he's interesting. So 2 tight end weeks are in play. I see that in the chat. AJ Barner getting a lot of questions. He's all right. I think there's better options, but a lot of Trey McBride. Like I said last week, I don't care what he costs. I don't care what his ownership is. This is one of the biggest roles. JSN, Jonathan Taylor, Trey McBride. Who has bigger roles than those guys right now?
Nobody. He's just too cheap. You got to keep doing it. All right, let's move it on over to defense. TJ already gave his lock of the week, all in, lock the Browns D. Huge O-line, or huge D-line versus O-line mismatch in that game. So they should be pretty good for 2,900. I think you can go the Saints for cheap if you need a cheapie. I think the Lions against Jameis is on the high end, has some upside. There's also, you could play the Raiders on the upside against Shador, right? So those are the ones that stand out to me. What stands out to you, Noto?
Yeah, on the high end, you got the Lions versus Jameis. You've got the Packers versus McCarthy, and then you got the Ravens versus the Jets. I like all 3 of them. I'm going to be pairing up the Ravens with my Derrick Henry shares. I like the call from TJ on the Browns at 2,900. And then, the Saints 2,500 against Kirk Cousins. Sign me up for that too. So better week than most for defense. But the problem is I don't really have a lot of salary cap left over after my build. So I'm probably just going to go cheap in my main lineups.
Me too. How low can you go is usually the way I do it. What do you think of Beer?
Seems like the Browns and Raiders are going to be, everyone's, not to everyone, but they're going to have some ownership. So love the Lions call. That the defense has played a lot better than people realize. It's Jameis Winston. They're back at home. I love that one. Seattle is very intriguing as well. I mean, this is the highest scoring defense on the season against a quarterback that just gives it up to defenses. So a huge favorite here. I love paying up for Seattle. I love the Saints call. I was hoping they would be sneaky this week against Kirk Cousins, but they're probably my favorite cheap defense. And then some that I don't think will see ownership. Kansas City against the Colts. Daniel Jones, somewhat stepping down a little bit this season. So that's about a 1% owned defense. Chicago has been very good at producing turnovers, whether it's Rodgers with a bad hand or Mason Rudolph. Really like that one. And then the Patriots against Cincinnati is, 1% owned. That's another defense that's been incredible. We saw what bad Flacco can look like, and it can produce some points. So love them, whether you pair them up with a running back or not. New England, very interesting this week as well.
Yep, I was waiting to say something about New England, so you nailed it. Happy to see that. All right, should we build a lineup?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Who's got the strong conviction at quarterback? I know you guys don't want to play. I would just say chalk Jacoby, but so let's avoid that.
Beer and I are on Shuck and Jameis. So why don't you pick the quarterback, Kirk?
Well, let's do Jameis. Let's do
And then
golf. Should we just do golf and just see how?
I want Gibbs as my one. I'm gonna pound the table for. So.
All right. So do you want to play him with Goff or not? Or
I
no
don't mind
Goff?
that. I'm gonna have a lot of stacks of the
With
Lions.
Goff or with Jameis, I think.
Yeah, even with Jameis.
Yeah, you can do both. Depending. So we've got let's put the big dog, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Good with it.
Was it Goff or Jameis?
Let's go Jameis for now.
Okay, fine. That's fine. Leave Jameis.
Are we just pumping in McBride here?
Yeah, you have to.
And then we got to go with all the cheap receivers.
Well, we got to put JMO.
Yeah. Who do we want with Jameis? Wandale?
Do we even need anyone is the question. It would be Wandale or it would be Theo, right? Or Slayton.
I think Slayton's interesting. If you really want to swing, how much do we have left? We don't need we could put my boy Tinsley in here and open up some salary.
Tinseltown?
So we're at 2 spots remaining with 47.50 left per position.
Yeah. So
Why don't we go
hypothetically,
Lions,
if we put Cleveland's D in, because TJ's adamant about it, what does that leave us with?
66.
Which is,
or if we went back to Wandale, we could get Emmanuel Wilson or Demont. Is that too much?
Yeah. No, I think we could do that. So you're saying over Slayton?
Yeah.
We're really leaving Tinsley.
You take him out?
No. Here, you are an OG. You're one of the best in the business. So if you're saying this is Tinsley week, it's worth a shot. I'm on board.
I mean, I like the squad.
All right.
Let's
got
read
our
it off to
Lions.
the audio people.
Yeah, go for it, Kirk.
What's that?
Read it off for the.
All right, so we're going Jameis Winston at QB. We're doing we're loading up with Detroit guys. We got Gibbs for our first running back 1. We got the big dog Derrick Henry running back 2 for high upside, and he could just take over that whole game. We got JMO for just one big play is all it takes. Plus he's seeing an uptick from Arnold calling the play calls. We've got Beers. Punt of the week here with Tinsley for only $3K. He's going to be wide receiver 3 against my Patriots. In theory, if they lock T. Higgins down, it should open up for Joseve and Tinsley. So I like that Beers on him. We got Wandale as the bring back he's paired with Winston. Makes sense. He's probably the only, or him or Slayton would be the options. Trey McBride, just too cheap. He's going to be chalk, but we say just eat this chalk that he should be 8K plus. And then Emmanuel Wilson, who will be chalky, but you can probably play around and find your way to David Montgomery if you need it and just take all the running game here for the Lions. But yeah, I like that. So that's our lineup. And we can reverse it. We can play around with golf iterations from there too as well. So like that. So final words for the people. Beard first from the rehab.
Let's hopefully it's Mitchell Tinsley week. So let's get him in the end zone. I'm probably going to be putting some bets on him as well. And I think you need Detroit pieces in every lineup this week as well. I think they score 40 plus. So early happy Thanksgiving to you boys, to TJ and to all the people out there. And we'll be back next week after the holiday, a little bigger and hopefully a little bigger pockets.
Nice. Noto.
Yeah, rest up, Beer. Kirk, keep crushing those Yahoo streets. And yeah, good luck, everybody. I think my favorite fades are going to be Chase Brown and Jacoby Brissett.
I got to reiterate it for all the sports bettors out there. Beer says hammer the over on the Lions team total, and I like that too as well. It just makes a ton of sense. So, all right, happy Thanksgiving,
Also, just
TJ.
a quick shout out for those who are not going to be joining us tomorrow morning. We will be having a Thanksgiving breakdown as well. So myself, Tasteful Tides, Tim Buell, and Jordan Vanek will be going live at 11:45 Eastern, hour 15 minutes before the slate locks Thanksgiving morning.
And there
Nice.
will also be a Thanksgiving only 6-pack, just focused on that slate. So we'll get
Nice.
that out hopefully on Tuesday.
Nice. Can't wait for it. It's a good football slate. We got good games. This is going to be a year. Good food, good games. We're getting to the good time of year, fellas. We're making some money too to pay for our Christmas presents. So let's keep it going. Chat. Thank you for everyone who's been here. Keep supporting the show. Love it. Love to see you guys. This has been the RG DFS Tournament Takes podcast, week 12 edition, and we will catch you next week.